Okay, now we get into video 2 of the Chet picking thing. Now I should have made one thing clear in the last video. We're taking baby steps here, and I guess what we're using, you could call it pattern picking. I'm well informed thanks to some of the guys on the Gretsch forums. Take it bit by bit, and hopefully by the end of all your hard work, or a couple of years worth of work realistically, you might be able to start coming up with your own stuff. Like, I guess if I just wanted to so I'm just sort of making up a bit of a rhythm there. It's just a combination of different syncopations, and that's kind of the idea of these exercises. So the next thing, the point we would have left off at is, hopefully by now, or by the time you start looking at this video, you're comfortable doing something like, or you might have tried it with your third finger, or your first finger. Okay. Now you might notice too, I'm muting those strings. That's something we're going to touch on at a later stage when we're getting to the finer points. But if you want to start adding that now, you're welcome to. So at this point, what I want to start doing is start using more than just one finger as part of a pattern. So let's just break it down again. Let's do it together. But why don't we try mixing our fingers up? So we're just going to constantly go first finger, then second finger. You might want to try second finger and third finger, or first finger and third finger, any combination you like. But this is basically where we go from here. Okay, so that's just an alternating pattern. I'll move in so you can look closer. Remember, I'm holding an E chord. Alright, here we go. Okay, now let's try it offbeat. So this is the in-betweens I was talking about. A little bit of Bixby there. Alright, yeah, so at that point I'm doing the pattern, the alternating pattern, and I'm just working the fingers in between. And I'm just going first on the third, second on the second string. If you get comfortable with that, this is where it gets a little bit more complex. We're doing a more syncopated pattern. So we're doing the pattern we did before. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. But we're going to keep our fingers alternating. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'm going to do that again. I'm not sure if I did that right the first time. So no matter where we are in the pattern, we start with our first finger, we go to our second, then we go into our first, and the pattern kind of goes out of sync and then comes back into sync. Now if you're not sure what I'm talking about, just play through it really, really slow. I'll do it one more time really slow. That's hard to do slow. I'm going to try that one more time. Yeah, I think I got it then. It's not really hard to do slow if you've never done it. It's a little hard to do slow if you're not really used to thinking about it. Okay, so that's the next step. Once you start getting comfortable with that, you might want to try doing it with your second and third finger, like. Okay, now if you're not really seeing the relevance this has to some of the Chet picking stuff, and it just looks too pattern based, at the end of the day, this is everything that you're going to be using. So if we're doing Mr. Sandman, forget about the left hand, it's going to get complex, but let's look at the right hand here, and we will get to left hand stuff, but for the time being, watch the fingers. At the end of the day, So there's, you know, perfect example. They're just together with alternating fingers. You know, Chinatown. Alright, so again, we're probably rushing ahead a little bit there, and it's going to get a little bit confusing. But you know, all the techniques that we're going through, you will be utilizing later on. And you still need to, you know, get your hands on stuff like this. You know, this sort of stuff really helps. But if you've got this grounding, you're going to understand exactly what, you know, you're going to understand what you're doing a lot better, where you're placing notes, whether they're on the beat, in between the beat. You know, that's what we're preparing you for. Well, that's what I'm preparing you for. There's no one else here. So yeah, keep an eye out for the next video where we'll start getting into left-hand stuff. And of course, if you're in Victoria, I say it every video, but you know, this is how I make my living. If you want some lessons, hit me up. The email will be below. Okay, thank you.